Hey techies, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will be going to see about conditional statements and switch cases, and these are also known as the brain of the C programs. Why? Because without these, your code runs the same way every single time. No decisions and no intelligence, just like a robotic repetition. But if you add if else, then suddenly your programs can think and they can choose the path based on your input and the conditions. For example, the game states or sensor data like that, they will become alive. In this video, you will be mastering if else, if, else if ladders and switch cases and the break keyword. And we will see some real life problems as well. So make sure to watch this video without skipping any parts. So let's dive in. First, we will see what is if. So in this, if is nothing but a statement, and this is used to make decisions by the compiler. Let us see how it works. When the program starts, it will come to this conditional line and it will check the condition. After that, if it is true or false, there can be either two choices, that is true or false. If it is true, it will execute. For example, I am taking A, or else execute B, or else we can simply skip it also. So it's based on the own condition. So here, when the program starts, if some condition is true or false, based on this, it will move along with the code. Okay, now we will see the structure of switch cases, and after that we will go deeper when we go on to the topic. For example, if we switch, we will write some expression here. That means some condition or the value that will be stored here, and there will be multiple cases, case 1, case 2, like that, and after that there will be a default. If this case is passed, then this condition will be executed. Then this case is passed, this condition will be executed. Like that it will go. If all of the cases fails, then this default will be executed. So within this switch cases, we will use a keyword break. This will help us to break when this condition is true and stop the program here itself, or else it will execute all other blocks. So that's why we will be using breaks in this. So we will be seeing how it works. So let's move on to the video. First, we will see the basic structure of if. First, we will see if. In this if, the syntax is within the curly braces, within the parentheses, we have to give condition. After that, curly braces, within that, we have to give the code to be executed. This is where the code to be executed will be there. So after that, the main thing is a condition without this parenthesis will throw an compiler error. And after that, the curly braces are optional when you use a single statement. Okay, this curly braces are optional when you use a single line of code. That means a single statement, but make sure to always use them because I will show how it works in the compiler. So let us see how it works. Before that, I will just show an example of it. For example, if my age is greater than or equals 18, that means I can say I am eligible for voting. Okay, if my age is greater than or equals 18, I can say I am eligible to voting. Okay, now we will move on to the compiler to check how the code internally works. So I am using C-line here. If you are not familiar with C-line, you can just go with Visual Studio also. So I am removing this printf line. So now we will be move on. This void is not needed because we are not giving any parameters inside this. When we will be seeing functions, you will know what is parameters and functions. So just know it is not needed there. Even if it's there, there will be no problem. So for that, I am declaring a variable, making it as age equals, for example, let me give 19. Okay, after that, if my age is greater than or equals 18, that means I can print eligible for voting. Okay, now let us check here. I am running it. See, it says eligible for voting. Same as here, we can do one more thing, that is, if you want to check a number is positive or negative, first we will see how the number line is. So we need to know the basic knowledge of the condition before we have to execute the code. For that, first we will see the number line. In this, 0 will be there, 1, 2, 3 and etc. Here -1, -2, -3 and etc. up to minus infinity to plus infinity. See here, in this number line, every number, that is every number greater than 0 is positive. Every number that is less than 0 is negative. 0 is neither positive nor negative, it's a neutral number. See here, if the every number is greater than 0, for example, if a number is greater than 0, it is positive. If a number that is less than 0, it is negative. Okay, now let us check in the compiler. So for that, now let us check here. I am naming this variable into number. After that, if number is greater than 0, I can say it is a positive number. And I can give another condition. If number is less than 0, then that means it is a negative number. Okay, now let us check. I am running it. So it says it's a positive number. So let me change this number into -19. So again, let us check here. It says it's a negative number. Before that, I believe that you have already know how to use scanf to get the input from the terminal. So let us use that here. I am just declaring it. After that, I am using scanf here, and after that, modulus t and the address of the variable. We have to give comma here, this number. After that, we have to end every line of statement with a semicolon. So we have used scanf here to get the input. So after that, we will be checking it is a positive or a negative number. So now let us run it again. So the compiler is asking for the number. So I am giving -12. So here, one more thing is that, what if I give 0? Nothing is printed. So for that, we can give one more condition here. That is, if number is equal to 0, we can print it is 0 and we can end it with semicolon. So now let us check it again. So I am giving the input as 0 again. It shows it is 0. So let us check it with one more time. We will run the clear it. I am giving 23. So it says it's a positive number. Okay, now we have used to check if a number is positive or negative, or else how it's been. For this, we have taken an example of a number that is 19 before, that is a positive number. So that if I run it again, that means it will show the positive number. If I give negative value, it will show negative number. This is how the basic if condition is working. So now we will see if else condition. So let me open the whiteboard to explain it. After that, we will come back to this compiler. So in this, first we have seen if my age is greater than or equals 18, I have said that I am eligible for voting. Okay, now I have know if my age is greater than 18, that means I am eligible for voting. If not, I can simply say not eligible for voting. So that means I have to use else case here. We don't need to give any condition. If this block of code is fail, then that means even if the condition is not true, this else case will not check any condition, and after that it will directly come to this block to execute the code. Okay, it will say not eligible to vote. Most of the time we will be using like this only. So here, this block of code, that means this if block, we'll be having condition here. This is the syntax and block of code that have to be executed. After that, else will be there, two curly braces, and again block of code. So see here, we can simply know the basic logic of this code by this is called as true block. This is called as false block. Why? Because if this condition becomes true, this block of code will be executed. If this condition becomes false, this block of code will be executed. So that's why it is called as true block and false block only for if else. If you are going to else if ladder, then that means it will be not in the way. So how it's working is, it will check the condition here. After the checking the condition, there are two parts, true and false. If this is true, this code will be executed. If this is false, this code will be executed. Okay. So now we will check using the age verification. So let me go on to the compiler. I'll remove these codes. So we'll start from scratch. Now first I need an integer for storing the age. I'm using scanf. After that, I got the age from the terminal. After that, what we have to do? We have to check if age is greater than or equals 18. That means I can say you are eligible for voting. So for that, you are eligible for voting. Now here we will give else case. I just simply say you are not eligible for voting. Okay, this is age and I'm getting it from user. So before that, I'll use one more printing statement here. So then within this printing statement, I'll give enter the age. Enter your age. So now we will know how this is the compiler is running or not. So I'm using \n. That means it will move on to the next line. So that's why we are using it. After that, I'll give the input. Then it will work. So now let us check. Before that, I'll give one more slash in here. So after giving the input, it will print in the next line. So now let us check. I'm giving the age of 12. Okay, let's run it again. So it asks for the age. So I'm giving 12. So it goes to the next line. So we just remove it. So now we will run it again. So it asks for the age. So I'm giving 12. So it says you are not eligible for voting. Okay. Now let us give a valid age. So I'm giving 18. It says you are eligible for voting. So again we will check with some more numbers. For example, 25. You are eligible for voting. So it's working perfectly. So now we have understand how it works, like if and if else. So then we can use this two code for the same problem we have used before, that is the number line positive or negative, positive or negative. So here let us go to here. So we have to use if else here as well. So then I name it to number. So after that, enter the number. So here I'll use scanf here, then %d and ampersand number. Ampersand is used for the reference to the variable. That means it will pointing to the value to store the value inside the variable. Okay. Now let us check here. For example, if I say if my number is greater than 0, then I can say print of, then positive number, or else I can say negative number. Okay, now let us run it. So it's asked for the number, so I am giving negative 45, so it says negative number. So let us run it again. So I am giving 34, it's a positive number. So we have seen it is a positive number. If it goes beyond that, it's a negative number. So let us check it with 0. So here, if I give 0 here, I got negative number, but it's not a negative number. So for that, we have to do one more condition, that is we will be using else if ladders here. For that else if ladders, first we will see now we will see the basic syntax of else if ladder. So before seeing that syntax, first we need to know why these much types of conditional statements are there. For that, here is used for a single condition. Okay. After that, if else is used for exactly two conditions. That means, for example, let us take a coin. It has two sides. One is head, another is tails. So like this, exactly alternative two values we will be using if else. After that, else if ladder. And one more thing, in all of these conditions, if is mandatory and else if and else are optional. So the mandatory thing is if must be there for every conditional statements. So let us see about why we need this else if ladder. In this else if ladder is used for more than two conditions. That means it can be up to 10 conditions, 12 conditions, up to infinity. You can use how many times you can write this else if ladder. For example, let us take the weekends. If, for example, if day 1 is equals 1, then that means I can say it's Monday. And day is equals 2, I can say it is Tuesday. Like that, if day is equals 7, I can say it is Sunday. So we have 7 conditions here. First one will be if, and another 6 will be else if. And for the else case, I can say other than these numbers, this is an invalid number. So in else case, I can say it's invalid. Okay, that's why we will be using else if ladder. For more than two conditions, you can add 3 plus exclusive paths, like it have a chains of conditions. Now one more thing is that these conditions are checked from top to bottom. If any one of, for example, I am having else if, else if, else if, else if like this. If you use else if like this, if this condition is true, all other conditions will be skipped. If this is true, all other will be skipped. It will go from top to bottom. See here, like this, as I said before, if this condition is like this, for example, if I have more else if conditions, like there are 5 conditions, then that means if first one is true, all 4 will be skipped. After that, if this is executed, then all 3 will be executed. All 3 will be, if this is executed, then all 3 will be skipped. And third one is executed, other 2 will be skipped. After that, if the fourth one is executed, then the fifth one will be skipped. So see here, now let us see some sample programs. For that, we'll be starting from that number line. In this number line, we have seen that there are 3 possibilities: 0, positive, negative. Okay, so that's where we will be using this else if ladder. So we'll be, instead of else, I'll give else if, and if number is less than 0, after that I can give else. Other than positive and negative, it must be the 0. Okay, see here, let us run it again. So it will ask for the input. So in this, first I'll try to start from 0. So let us know it is showing the correct output. So I'm running 0, it says 0. So again running it, I'm giving some positive values. It says positive value. Again I am running it. Then if I give any negative numbers, it says negative number. So our code is working perfectly. So now we can check. So now we will move on to another problem. So in this problem, we are going to create a grade calculator. Okay, in this, if my score is in between 90 to 100, I can give the score of A, and 80 to 89, I can give the score of B, and 70 to 79, I can give the score of C, and 60 to 69, I can give the score of D, and below 60, I can give F. That means it's fail mark. Okay, and one more thing is that the mark should be in between the range of 0 to 100. If this is invalid, we can print invalid message. Okay, so now we'll start from the scratch. So I'll remove all of this code. So first we have to include the header hash include standard input output. This is where the scanf and printf is stored. So that's why we are importing this header file. So after that, int main, then return 0. So this is the basic skeleton structure of C programming. So then, for example, I am giving my score. Let us take a scanner. For that scanner ampersand score. We have used the scanner to store the value. After then, we just move on to the condition. If my score is greater than 100, it's an invalid case. The mark should be in between 100, or if my score is less than 0, that means it's a negative number. So the mark should be in positive numbers only, and it should be in the range of 0 to 100. So after that, give a curly braces here, and I can say it's an invalid input. Okay, because the score should be in the range of 0 to 100. If my score is greater than 0, or my score is greater than 100 or less than 0, so I can say it's an invalid input. So then we have to use else if ladder here. Else here, my score is greater than or equals 90. It means it is in the range of 90 to 100. So logical and my score is less than or equals 100. Okay, it is in the range of 90 to 100. So then I can say, so then I have to print. For example, I am giving grade A. If my score is in the range of 80 to 89, because if the score becomes 90, that means it's grade A. So then I'll print it's grade B. Okay. After that, I'll say my score is greater than or equal 70, and my score is less than or equal 79. So that means it is grade C. Okay. In the range of 90 to 100, it's grade A, and 80 to 89, it's grade B. 70 to 79 is grade C. So then, else if my score is in between if my score is in between the range of 60 to 69, so I can say the grade is D. Or else, other than that, I can say grade F. That means it's failed. Okay. See here, this is the code. If the score is greater than 0, if the score is greater than 100, then it should be an invalid input, and if it is in the negative value also, it is an invalid input. So first we have checked that case. After that, if it is in the range of 90 to 100, I'm giving it the grade A. If it is in the range of 80 to 89, then it is grade B, and 70 to 79 is grade C, and 60 to 69 is grade D. And if my grade is less than 60, then that I can say it is a fail mark. So let us try to run this. So it asking for mark, so I'm giving 34. It says it's a fail mark. So again run it. So let us check it with some values. I'm giving 90. So it says grade A. So again I'm running it. So I'm giving 100. So it's grade A. So I am again running it and giving 106. It says invalid input. If I give negative values, invalid input. If I give 0, grade F. So after that we will check with some positive values like 45. So it also grade above 60 is pass mark. So let us give 60. It's grade D, and 70 for grade C, and 80 for grade B. So let us check it. So we got every grades. So this is how we will be checking the score with using the LCF ladders. So after that, we can see most of the people doing a mistake that we will be seeing what is that. So before that, I'll create new project here, and I'm naming it for sample programs. So I'm creating project. So we can run the code here. So it's created a C++ file. So we should create a C file. So for that we have to create C executable. Then I'm creating the file. So now the file is being created. So within this file, we should run. We'll see what are the basic mistakes that is being used by the beginners. So for that, first, now I declare a variable. For example, I'm declaring it as age. So here I'm giving it as 16. So in booleans, I have imported the header file of boolean. So after that, what we can say here, boolean is data type. So I can check as license equals false, but I don't want boolean. So instead of that, I'll just remove this line, and I'll be using integer for that. For that, if I use 0 here, it will become false. So then I'm giving if my age is greater than or equals 18. So then I am printing you can drive here. Okay, let me change this to 19. So after this line, I'm giving has license equals, I'm changing it to true. So again, after that, I'm printing. Before that, I'll change this to 6. Okay, it's 18. So I'm just changing this age to 16. So here, I'll mark the license status as 0 or not. So I will check here. So percentage %d slash m. So after that, have license. Okay. See here, if I try to run this code, it says the license status is 1. But we have given a condition, if my age is greater than or equal to 18, then only it have to change, but my age is currently 16. So what the condition gives here is the age is 16 and it is under the 18, but has like license become 1. Why? Because without this curly braces, only the first statement after if belongs to the if block. The second line has license equals 1 execute unconditionally. It is not part of the if block. This is called the dangling else. That means it is technically a dangling statement. It causes real bugs in the production code. So always make sure to use curly braces here. I give curly braces here, and after that here. See here, if I try to run this, it will print license status is 0. If this age is 19, if I run it, it's working perfectly. Before that, we have to give /n, so it will move to the next line. So I am running it. So you can drive, the license status is 1. So now it is working perfectly. So the main rule is to use curly braces so it will not affect the code. If you don't use the next line after the single line after this if block will be considered as the if conditions. So now we have seen about the else if cases, and after that we have seen why do we need these curly braces, and for the last thing we will be seeing about switch cases. Switch cases is nothing but the clean multi-branch for the discrete values. For example, when your condition checks a single variable against discrete variables like integers or characters, switch will be a way cleaner than the else if ladders. For example, if you have 12 months, so that time we don't need to write else if like that. Instead of that, we can simply use switch case. It will be more easier compared to the else if ladder. So first we will see the basic syntax of the switch cases. We have to use switch keyword. So first we will see the basic syntax of the switch key. So first we will see the basic syntax of switch cases. So for that we will go on to the whiteboard. First one is the switch keyword. Switch, within that the value that we have to give as the input. For example, the variable name we have to give. I am giving that the variable. After that, curly braces. Then within that we have to give case and the variable value 1 and the code, and have to be executed. After that, break is mandatory. So then again case 2, case value 2 and code, case value 3, and before that we have to add break here, code and break. And if you want, you can add default. It is not mandatory, but it will make sure to fall back of the code. For example, if all the conditions are failed, then that time it will be executed. So the main components are first the switch. Within that you have to give the variable. It must be integer or character type. It can't store any float values or double values. In switches you can only use integer or character type. After that, this case value. In this case value, the constant values only. There will be no variables or ranges. For example, you can't give I less than 9 and I greater than 10 like that. You can directly give the same value. For example, it simply refers to if I equals 10. That means it is a single value. But if you can't use like I greater than 9, because if the value is 10, it is also true. If it's 11, it is also true. But it is not possible here because we are given simply like the double equals. So that means it will refer to the same value. It will not define any range. After that, this break keyword, it will be exist the switch, and also what happens within the also what happens when we code in the C line. After that, this default is optional fallback for like in else case. Okay, let's we try to build a weekday of printer. For example, if I give 1, it should give Monday. If I give 2, it should give Tuesday. Like that it have to give. If not in the range of 1 to 7, then I can say enter a valid week number. Okay, then so we will be moving to the, I will remove this code. So then I'll create a variable day equals, I'll declare it and get the input from the user, and scanf. Now I got the day. Then first we need the switch keyword. After that, within that we have to give the variable name, then curly braces. Then case 1, case, after that we have to give some space, after that we have to give the value. Then a colon, after that I have to print Monday, then I have to give break. Then get back here, then case 2, after that it's Tuesday, so then just break. So now case 3, after that Wednesday, and it is break. So then case 4, after that print Thursday, then break. Okay, then case 5, after that print Friday, after that break. Like that we have to give for the 7 days. So if you go on to the else if cases, you have to write first if, after that else if, after that else if, after that else if, after that else if, and instead of default you will give else case. So same like that, but you will simply use case, so it will be faster and cleaner than that, and it will only work for integers and character types. All other will be ignored by the compiler, that means it will throw some errors. So case 7 means it's Sunday, so after that I'll just give default, after that print invalid day, enter the number between 1 to 7. Okay, see here I'm getting input from the user, then in the case 1 I'm printing Monday and I give a break, case 2 Tuesday, case 3 Wednesday, case 4 Thursday, case 5 Friday, case 6 Saturday, and case 7 Sunday. If all of them are false, then this will be executed. So let us try to run this. So after that I give 3, it says Wednesday, then I give 1, it says Monday, then if I give 7, it says Sunday. For that we give some invalid values like -90. So it invalid day, enter the number between 1 to 7. So then 3 and 5. So wait here, I'll add one more next line command here, so it will go to the next line, because now we are going to remove the break and we will see what will happen here. So I have given here, so just comment this breaks. So let us check it, what will happen here. Then I'll remove this one also. So now I have removed the break statement until the 5th case. So let us try again, and I will give the input as 1. So if I give 1, I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday until Saturday, I get everything, because the statement doesn't bring break until here. So I have to give the next line. Okay, now see here, when it reaches Saturday, it didn't go to Sunday because of this break statement. So now what happens here, when compiler comes here in the case 1, then it will be become true, then it is printed. So after that, if you don't give break, this also will become considered as true. So then it will again run, and it will go here and again run, and it will go up to the 5th case, and it doesn't even break yet, so it goes to the 6th break. For example, let me give a break statement here, then I am running it. So if I give 1 here, see, I only get till Wednesday, because the statement is break out of this case right here. So that's why we need to give break statement in the every code, of switch cases. Okay, this is what is happening inside the switch case. If you don't give break statement, all of the other cases after this case will be also executed. So this is a basic example for switch case. So now we will be creating a simple calculator using this switch cases. For that we are going to use characters. Okay, so we'll see the requirement here. In this calculator, I'll need, if I give plus, I want addition. If I give minus, I want subtraction. If I give star, I want multiplication. If I give forward slash, I want division. Like that, this is the basic calculator. So these are the basic operations I am going to do using a numbers and characters. So now let's dive in. So before that, we just need to gather the information that is regarding to the calculator. For that, we need two numbers, one operation, and we need to print the output. Okay, now let me go on to that. So first I'll remove all of these. So then I have to first I will have to print it, so the user can see what it is. So I'm naming it as Infotechis calculator. If you want, you can add your own name as well. So after that, we have to give the next line here. After printing it, you just need to say them. Enter the operation you want to do. Okay, after that we have to give the operations to the person. So for that, plus for addition, so we just need to print a multi-line. So that I'll print one more line, addition with plus operator, addition with plus operator. After that, subtraction with minus operator. After that, multiplication with star operator. After that, division with the forward slash operator. So these are the things we need. After this, getting the operation from the user, we just need to get two inputs from the user. So I am naming it as number 1 and number 2. After that, we have to give a printing statement like enter the first number. After that, we can simply give it in a single line. After that, enter the first number and second number. Then give next line here. So after printing these two lines, then we will move on to print another. We have to use scanf here. Scanf. We'll be getting two numbers. After we got two numbers, we have to use switch case here. The switch case, we have to use the variable name. So for that, we will be getting operation from the user. So before that, we have to get the operation. For that, char operation. After that, scanf. We have to get the operation from the user. After getting operation, we are getting two numbers from the user. So here, I just need to give the variable name operation and the curly braces. After that, case plus means I would simply print %d plus %d equals %d. This is number. So we are adding two number. So now here one more thing is there, we can get point values as well. So I am changing this integer value into float. So then we need to change this format. So %f and %f. Now we will get two float values. So again we have to change this and this value. So I just want two characters after that. So I am using 0.2f and 0.2f and 0.2f here as. Now I will get only two digits after every number. So after that, we have to give break condition here. After that, case minus, we have to print subtraction, after that break. Okay, this is the number 1, this is number 2, and number 1 minus number 2. After that multiplication, so for that star printf multiplication, after that break. After that, in case division, we have to check one thing. If number 2 is equals 0, if you divide any number with 0, that means it will be infinite value, so that's why you have to check it. After that print, it's an error, division by 0, or else I can say, I can simply divide the value and print the value. Okay, after that we have to use break here. After that we have to use default, or if someone may give any other operation, so I am giving invalid operation. So now we have created our application, so now we will just run it. So it says enter the operation you want to do. So I didn't give any operation here, so for that we have to give next line here. So I am giving next line here, so I'll stop it, rerun it. So now we got the space. So now we will write it. First I want to do division. After that enter the first number and second number. So I am giving 23 and 0. So it says error division by 0. So I am running it again. So I want to do multiplication. 5 times of 5, it says 25. So after that we will run it again. So now I will do addition, and 10 plus 10, it is returning 20. So now we have successfully created our calculator. So what we are doing is, we are just only for division only we have to check for the number 2 divided by 0, because divisible by 0 will return infinitive. So that's why we have used this. So we will see one of the most mistakes the beginners will do. Okay, for that I'll create another project, new project in this C executable file, and I'll create it. Okay, now I have created it. So let us check it. What are the basic mistakes the user will begin to do? First one is, the assignment operator will be used instead of the comparison. For example, if 10 equals 10, then I want to print hello world. Instead of that, I'll declare one variable int a equals 10. So here I'll change the value of 10 to a. So now what is happening? If a equals 10, you have to print hello world. Okay, now I am running it. So it says hello world. If I give 1 here, it won't print. So we'll add one more else case here, so we will know this code is running or not. So with this, I'm just saying infotech is. So again I'm running it. So now it's only says infotech is, because it is not equals 10. So here instead of double equals, if I give single equals, then that means 1 equals 10. Now what will happen is, this value, this a value will assign the value of 10. So then it will be automatically become true. After that it will always execute the if case. So don't do this mistake. So make sure to check this assignment operator is used for, if the assignment operator is used here, because we only have to use comparison operators here. If you use single equals, it will become assignment operator, so it's wrong. So make sure to check that. After that we'll check one more thing here, that is, if you try to assign 0 here, the if case will fail, because you know that 0 means false. So every time the if case will become false. So that's why any number other than 0, this if case, this if case will be executed. So now we will be checking on floating point equality. Okay, so now I'll remove these lines. So for example, I'm giving a float value. The float value a equals 0.1 plus 0.2. All of us know this value will become 0.3. So if I try to check if a is equals 0.3, so print hello else print hi. Okay, now let us check it. So it says else case. What it doing is, in the 0.3 is not equals 3, because most of the time the floating point equality often fails. So make sure that don't try to check this float point values. So use integer values instead. So try to avoid these mistakes. After that, the most mistake is that the dangling else ambiguity. That is, we can use if case inside another if case, right? Here x is greater than 0. I'll declare one variable int x equals some value. So if x is greater than 0 and if I'll declare one more variable y equals 10 as well. If y is greater than 0, then if I try to print, both are positive, and I don't want to use this curly braces. Now in this case, I'll print x not positive. Okay, now what I'm checking, if x is not greater than 0, that means it have to be executed. Okay, but here it's in a dark line, that means it will not executed. So it will be collapsed. So for that, make sure to use curly braces in this conditional statements here. So if you use it here, you'll need to close it here. So after this if else case, you will know where to close it. So we have closed this. So instead of this, you know that this case will be written as false. So but for here, we'll not using this inside it, we'll be using it outside it, because we are checking for x is positive or not. So that's why we are checking. We don't need any y case here, because if x is greater than 0 and if y is greater than 0, that means both are positive. If x is this, if this condition fails, that means x is not positive. For example, if I give -0, -10, this case will be executed. That means the false block will be executed. So we'll once again recap everything. For example, what we have studied today, that first we'll start from if code executes only when the condition is true and also non-zero. That means if you give any value inside the if condition other than 0, that will be true. If you give 0, then that will be false. And if else is just like a binary decision, that is only two mutually exclusive paths. After that, else if ladder, it is like a multi-branch logic that most of the specific, for example, we can use it for month checking, like that multi checking properties. And make sure to always use curly braces to prevent dangling statements in your code. So make sure to use this curly braces inside your code. After that, switch case is used. The switch case is cleaner than if else, because it is, but it also only used by integer and character values. And always include break statement within the every switch statement. And for default case, it is used for the else case instead of in the else case in the if else case. And if is used for flexibility and switch case is used for the readability. Okay, so now we have seen if all of the conditional statements with switch cases as well. So in the next video, we'll be seeing about loops, and we'll learn for loops, while loops and do while loops, and we'll be combine them with the conditional statements to build some interactive programs that run until the user say to stop. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to Infotechis so you won't get You won't miss any videos if we drop. So make sure to click the bell icon and comment if you have any doubts. We'll be solve it in the next videos.